It feels like wildfires have become a reality constantly within the last few years. But when that smoke from the Canadian wildfires rolled in down here to Michigan and turned those skies dull gray orange, it was a real reminder of how quickly things can shift. Let's be honest. In the prepping world, people love to talk about the massive cinematic SHTF scenario. But in reality, let's be honest, those are not the things that are going to come knocking at your door. Preparing for natural disasters, severe weather, and regional fallout isn't the sexy post-apocalyptic fantasy, but it's actually far more likely to be what we deal with in our daily lives. When disruptions like this tend to hit, I use them as a trigger to audit my gear. Today on Wolverine Prepper, we're going to step through my brand new first aid backpack. It is structured to handle those real world emergencies that come with real world events. Now let's get into it. In an emergency, immediate access to everything is so important. So I chose this specific pack with the clamshell opening so that when you unzip it, every pouch is available and instantly accessible. I also bought this so that if I have to move from that bug in situation to bug out, I can quickly grab this pack with all of my other bug out stuff and everything's going to be right there. So obviously on the front here, I do have that this is a first aid. I'm actually going to get a larger patch that shows that this is a first aid pack. And I do have an American flag patch on it just to show that I am a good guy if I come across anyone that is in need. So the things on the outside, I do have a small flashlight here. On this side, in this pouch, I do have a bottle of isopropyl alcohol. And then on this side, I do have a bottle of iodine. In case I am able to ask them and they are allergic to iodine, we can use alcohol. So this first opening, if you open it up right now, I just have a glow stick in there. I wasn't really sure what to put in here. If you can think of anything to put in this front pouch, go ahead and put it in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. So what we're going to do is we're going to stand it up here and we are going to open up this top pouch. Now, this bag I did get on Temu. I did see another prepping channel that I like to watch, Idaho Prepper. He had got one of these on Temu and tested it out, and he's actually still using it. So it made me decide to go and get one. So I'm also going to test this out to see if I like it. So in this top pouch, if you open it up, now this one isn't a clam. I do have safety pins. I do have a first aid emergency brief book. A lot of these things I already know how to do because of my scouting history. A lot of these are just ingrained, but these are great things to have so you can actually look through them, practice them, and make sure that you know how to do them. It doesn't matter if you have all the first aid gear in the world. If you don't know how to use it, it doesn't matter. I also have in here a bag of antibacterial hand wipes. These are made by American Red Cross. Now, I don't know if they're still there, but I got these at the Dollar Tree. They had a bunch of different American Red Cross stuff at the Dollar Tree. You're actually going to see more of that stuff in here. I'm going to link the video that I did right here in the card on things that you can get at the Dollar Tree as a prepper. It's a great video and it will give you some great ideas. And then also in here, I have a stethoscope, an armband to do blood pressure if someone's there to use it. So let's open up this main compartment here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of lean this up like that. And first thing we're going to look at right here, I do have a Jace case in here. Any of my bottled medications I keep in here, whether they're over the counter or antibiotics, antivirals, I keep them in here. I keep this in here so that if I need to run, I have my Jace case with me. Now on this front flap, I do have a splint here. I'm probably going to put another splint right here. What do you think about that? Let me know in the comments below what you would put there. But now, as you can see, there's a bunch of different pouches here. So these pouches on the actual lid don't move. They don't come off. These three actually do come off. So in this first one, I have an entire set from Rhino Rescue, and it is a wound closure kit. And here's how to use everything. I would recommend actually practicing it and utilizing them. But this is, if you don't have stitches, this is a way to close a wound that may require stitches. I have the entire kit right in this front pouch. The pouch underneath that, I do have instant ice packs. I also got those from the Dollar Tree. Again, check out that video, but I have several of those in there. That's what I have in this first area. So on the side here, you see there's a bunch of elastic loops. So I have scissors, I have a bandage wrap, I have one tourniquet, which I need to put more tourniquets in here. Where do you think I should put those? Maybe in that front pouch that I showed you that I only had the glow stick in? Let me know. And then I also have one of these type of tourniquets as well. On this side, it is a zipper pouch. I have ouchie boo boo bandages. And then I also have a chest seal, two of them, one for the front, one for the back in there. And then in this bottom pouch, I actually have from American Red Cross. These are instant hot packs. Again, I got these from the Dollar Tree as well that you'll see in that video. If you're enjoying this video and you want more content like this, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. So what I love about these three main pouches here is that they can be taken off and they can be taken to wherever you need them to be. So in this one, I actually have, this is more of a miscellaneous, some things that I just didn't have a spot to put all of them. Emergency blankets, some of these alcohol pads, cotton swabs, the hypoallergenic adhesive tape, a lot of that type of stuff. Burn ointment, that kind of thing. I have that in this pack. In this pack, I'll open it up here. I actually have more of the, like the iPads, cotton gauze swabs, all the different wound dressings that I may need for any type of wound that I might be dealing with. And then this third one here, take this off. This is actually going to be actual wound dressing. So I have wound dressing pads here. I have the rolls that you can wrap. I have packing gauze. I even have quick clot gauze in here. But what I really want to talk to you about today is something that a company reached out to me to take a look at. They're a first aid company, and I want to talk to you about what they sent me. It is a great item, and I think it's something that I would really like to share since I've been trying them out and using them. So this is the most recently integrated piece of my medical kit. And really, I think that this can replace a lot of those traditional rolled gauze for serious surface wounds. It's a Dimora Silicone Foam Dressing, and it's made by Dimora. So while traditional gauze have some critical flaws in field care, it dries out, adhesives, adheres to the wound, and every time you change the bandage, you pull off sometimes healing tissue and it starts bleeding again. Here's why I like the Dimora dressing and why it's earned a permanent spot in my kit. So we're going to actually open this up here. And you can see that they're sealed and they're in a flat wrapping, which I would definitely keep in there. So these are the 4" by 4". They have multiple sizes for whatever wound you might be dealing with. But it starts off, it looks just like a big Band-Aid, right? But here's the thing. It has 5 layers of absorbent care. It uses a 2 millimeter thick foam core with a super absorbent fiber layer that absorbs up to 15 times its weight in fluid. That locks in the wound's fluid so it won't break down surrounding the skin. The contact surface uses an A+ medical grade hypoallergenic soft silicone. It adheres securely to dry skin. You can even lift it to inspect the injury and reseal it without causing trauma. So I'm actually going to show you how well this sticks. And I can tell you right now, this pad, it's a bit sticky, so it's going to hold on to that wound. But I'm going to put it right down here. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep talking about this, and then I'll pull it off after a little bit. So it is waterproof and breathable. The outer layer is a semi-permeable film that blocks dirty water, ashes, soot, dirt, while allowing oxygen to circulate through. And you can feel that this is permeable. It is open, that air can get through it. That 2 millimeter foam layer that I showed you acts as a built-in cushion if you have a burn or abrasion on the arm or leg that still needs to sling gear or keep working, the extra padding absorbs the shock. So this is actually really comfortable to wear. You can see I can twist my arm around and it is not going anywhere. All right, so here is the real deal. I'm actually going to take this off so I can actually peel it back. And you see how easily that peeled back? I can check the wound, I can put it back down, and it's right back to where it needs to be. But yeah, let me pull this completely off, and it didn't even hurt. I'll even put it on where there's some hair. And it doesn't hurt. It comes on and off so easy. And you see I completely have it off. Well, I can take it, I can put it back on, and it is right back on. All right, let's turn that camera back around and we'll finish up this video. At the end of the day, we have to look at practicality. Everyone loves to prep for the big SHTF scenario. And while that's great to keep in mind of something that could potentially happen, that isn't always our reality. Whether you're dealing with regional fallout from wildfires or any natural disaster, roughing it out on the trail, or dealing with a burn at home during a power outage, having a specialized dressing just like these that I showed you today makes field recovery infinitely smoother. They save space over bulky rolled gauze. They eliminate the need for extra tape and actually protect the wound a lot more efficiently. If your current medical setup only has basic bandages and rolled gauze, take a minute to reevaluate your setup for a real world scenario. Thanks for watching the video today. I'm actually going to drop a link in the description below to the Dimora Silicone Foam Dressings. I'm telling you, they are worth the investment. They're not a lot of money, but their value is their weight in gold, to be perfectly honest with you. So how are you adjusting your emergency gear for environmental disruptions? Let me know in the comments below. What am I missing in this new pack that I have set up? Tell me that in the comments as well. Let me know what you would add or what you would take away, or maybe if you would configure it differently. If you liked the video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, share, and hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I come out with a new video. But that's going to be the video for today. I want to thank you all for watching. This is Paul from Wolverine Prepper. Don't just get prepared, stay prepared. God bless you, and God bless the Republic.